everybody, Ira Bruce here with Independent News Network, and today I want to talk to you about an attack from China. Folks, I've been kind of thinking a lot about this, watching and reading a lot, and I'm just going to hit some of the highlights about this. But to me, this is some very serious stuff that we in the United States need to wake up to. And I think as independent voters, we're not as apt to be subjected to a lot of what the Democratic and Republicans are subjected to. But what I can tell you is, here's what I've come up with. China really appears to have infiltrated, and actually they are attacking our country. If not militarily, they are still attacking our country. There's a lot of espionage going on from the Chinese, a lot of spying going on from the Chinese, but not just that. But let's look at some of the tangible things that we really know about. So first and foremost, China is sending all kind of fentanyl to the Mexican cartel in Mexico. That's where fentanyl comes from. Fentanyl comes from China. China is sending that over to the Mexican cartel. And the Mexican cartel is smuggling this fentanyl in huge amounts into this country. And it's literally killing hundreds of thousands of people in our country. So if you think about it, China is attacking us with this fentanyl. China is actually killing hundreds of thousands of our people as we speak, simply from supplying this deadly drug into our country. I don't think China could kill 100,000 or 200 or hundreds of thousands of Americans if they try to come in here militarily. So this is genius. In my estimation, this is genius by China coming in here, sending this poisonous, well, it's just poison. It's not, I'm thinking medication, but it's not medication. It is poison that they're sending to the Mexican cartel. And yet, Biden is allowing the open borders to allow all this fentanyl into our country. And again, I've said in previous videos, why is Biden doing that? It can only be for one reason. He's getting paid. He's getting paid off by the Mexican cartel to allow all these immigrants into our country and to allow all these drugs into our country. The Mexican cartel are making billions and billions of dollars, and all you have to do is go back as far as when Biden was vice president. He and his son Hunter went over to talk to Carlos Slim and the Mexican presidents over there, and you can't tell me they don't have any kind of a connection with the cartel. If they didn't have a connection with the cartel, they would send the military, the Mexican military, the Mexican Marines in there after the cartel and get rid of that scourge in their country, but they don't do it. And like I've said in other videos, Trump even humorously said, why don't we just launch rockets into the jungles and bomb these people, right? Because they're attacking our country. They are literally attacking our country by bringing all these drugs into it. They couldn't kill more people in a war than the people they're killing with these drugs. This is serious, and this is fact. All you have to do is just see all the people that die from fentanyl. It's crazy. Next, TikTok is on everybody's phone. It is proven that TikTok is launched from Chinese server. Anytime somebody has TikTok on their phone, that goes through a Chinese server. They are actually infiltrating your cell phone and getting every bit of your information off your cell phone. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're sitting there listening to everybody in this country who has TikTok on their phone. I'm telling you right now, every single one of us in this country should delete TikTok app from your phone and make sure it's wiped out make sure it's gone, because they're not only gathering information from what you're watching on TikTok. It's been proven that they're actually infiltrating your phone and getting all your files, all your contacts, every bit of information that you have on your phone is going into these Chinese servers, and they are actually infiltrating this country with this TikTok app. Now, Trump went after the TikTok app, if you remember, right? He tried to ban that TikTok app, and he actually said if it was coming from a Chinese server, it was not going to be allowed in this country. And then Trump got defeated. Well, where did that go? That went by the wayside. What does Biden do about it? Zero. Nothing. Why? Because it's a fact. Hunter Biden has made millions and millions of dollars from the Chinese government, from Chinese entities, being paid to the big guy. So there's this connection going on, this Chinese connection with Biden in more ways than one. So there's TikTok. The Chinese are sending their young people over here into our universities. Now, let me ask you something. Is it a coincidence that all of our universities have turned woke? Is it a coincidence that all of our universities are teaching CRT? Is it a coincidence that they're preaching socialism in our universities? I don't think so. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think the Chinese are spending millions and millions, if not billions of dollars to pay to these universities. And then these universities in turn are subservient to the Chinese money coming into their university and teaching all this stuff to our kids. And they're even allowing all these Chinese students. I know for a fact the local university in my area actually has a quota of Chinese students, and an American student cannot get into this university because they have a quota that they need to fulfill with Chinese students. And then what happens after that? Those Chinese go and they go to work in companies around the United States, and they're spying. They're literally working for the Chinese government. They're actually spying on us. Also, they're infiltrating our congressmen. I'm reading something right here. We're going to go ahead and put it on our screen. Fang Fang. Remember Fang Fang? The concubine of Eric Swalwell? Here's what it says about Fang Fang. Fetching accused Chinese government spy Fang Fang, aka Christine Fang, entered the U.S. through California as a college student in 2011. There you go, proof right there. And spent the next 4 years wooing everyone from local politics to U.S. congressmen, citing current and former U.S. intelligence officials. So there's a perfect example for you about how the Chinese are infiltrating our country, our congressmen. It's crazy. It says she was on a mission, a U.S. counterintelligence official said of Fang, and it included plenty of seduction before the feds got wind of her antics, and she vanished in 2015. You don't hear any more about that, her and Eric Swalwell. That's craziness for Swalwell not to be kicked out of Congress. And as voters, if the California people don't elect this crook, this tainted guy out of Congress, it's crazy. And that's from the New York Post that I pulled that up. So there's one example of, I'm sure, many of young people coming from China, going into our universities, corrupting our universities, getting out, being spies. It's right there. That is one perfect example about that. All right, moving on, even more, now we hear about the Chinese buying property close to our sensitive military installments, where we have a lot of military secrets. They're buying plots, huge amounts of acreage, plots of land, very close to these military installments with these secrets, these U.S. secrets that we have in these military installments. That's just crazy. I don't understand how we even let that happen. How does the United States allow Chinese Chinese get that close to our sensitive information, it's insane. I just don't understand it. What I can tell you from this, if you remember back when Trump was president, again, he tried to ban TikTok, or at least ban TikTok from having Chinese off their servers. He was also placing tariffs on these Chinese. He was also closing the border so these drugs from China couldn't get through. All of this now totally blown wide open. Why? Because Biden allows it to happen. And we need to change the way things are. We need to wake up. This is frightening stuff. This is futuristic. This is stuff like I was talking about in George Orwell's 1984 coming to life. We need to wake up as a country. We need to be frightened. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm scared that I'm even saying this stuff in video, because who knows if they want to try to shut me up. But you know what? A lot of this stuff is out there in the media. I'm not really saying anything that isn't already public knowledge, but maybe the Mexican cartel thing hasn't really caught wind yet or caught fire yet, but I can pretty much guarantee you there's a lot of that going on, and people need to wake up as to what's going on, and all that fentanyl coming into our country and all the Chinese that are killing us just using fentanyl. So it's craziness. China is attacking us. We are in a war with China, whether we want to realize it or not. And now the latest thing is they're saying, Nancy Pelosi better not step foot in Taiwan, or else they'll blow her plane and our escorts out of the sky. I mean, craziness. Come November, let me tell you something. 2024 can't get here fast enough, because I'm frightened for this country. 2024 can't get here fast enough. And I'm going to tell you something. Us as independent voters, we have no choice. Look, we have to pick the lesser of the evil. The Republicans, I don't understand the Republicans. You don't hear anything. Look, they didn't do anything when the Democrats tried to impeach Trump twice. These Republicans are just non-motivated. These Republicans are passive. That's the word. They're very passive, and we can't afford to have Republicans being passive. Republicans need to be aggressive. Republicans need to take back this country and show us that they're worth voting for, because we have no other choice. I feel like parties should be banished, that everybody should just be independent, and everybody should vote their conscience. But these Republicans need to stop being passive. They need to start being aggressive like the Democrats are, and turn this country around and save our country. Our country is under attack. We need to be saved. And we have to get Biden, if nothing else, who is on the take. Even if we get Kamala Harris, at least I can say there's no evidence of her being on the take with the Chinese government. But Biden's been on the take from the Chinese government, from Russian oligarchs, from the Ukrainians. Now you know Hunter Biden making all those millions. Joe Biden is getting a piece of the pie. And I'm telling you, as much as I'm sitting here talking to you, he has something to do with getting money funneled to him from the Mexican cartel from Mexico, because why else would he allow that border to be open the way it is? Let all these drugs in, let all these illegal aliens, for what? That's ruining the country. It's actually against the law. Biden is not even upholding the laws of the United States. He's not upholding the Constitution of the United States. He needs to be gone, and he needs to be gone tomorrow. Even if we're left with Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi, it is what it is, but we can't do any worse than what we have right now. So that's it for this segment of Independent News Network, or INN as we like to call it. Please, if you're not yet a subscriber, let's go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Let's get the word out. Let's tell all our independent friends about this. Let's make comments below. Let's get this started. I want to get the word out and save this country. That's the only thing that this YouTube channel is all about, is to save this country and to give us, the independent voter, a voice. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in our next video.